Hello out there and good morning traders. It is June 28th, 2024 and welcome to the Apteros DMI or Daily Market Insight. Let's jump into what happened yesterday around our line in the sand areas here. So, yesterday kind of an interesting day for us in the session where we had a nice move in the open here pushing out, creating a change in the acceptance picture. In other words, looking at scenario 2, we had a good opportunity right here for scenario 2 to continue up and we just didn't get anywhere, didn't clear out the high really and just kind of fizzled out on us. Good MFE from it, sure, but no real targets being reached there. Then this market comes back in and transitions back into value. So we're back into scenario 1 in this section here, looking to the short side. So our line in the sand becomes bearish again. And looking in the short side in this particular section, get some good MFE again, but no destination reached. So it's just one of those days where we, had a decent look around our line in the sand, and the market kind of did this around our line in the sand. Not the easiest situation in terms of trading, but we still got good MFE and good reactions from our areas here. It was just one of those things where we didn't have any follow through in the market to hit any destinations. And then, of course, the market kind of fizzled out for the remainder of the session, and we now have kind of a break out of this value that we've been tracking for a couple of days now. So let's take a look at what's going on today. Okay, so in today's landscape, it's a pretty straightforward picture from our line in the sand perspective. We have our lower time frames kind of shifting to the bullish side of things. This move here has created that shift. So we have to respect this area, this line in the sand now, because we have 3 time frames kind of aligned with it. So the confluence is there, the trade locations are there. In that regard, this is our bullish what is picture from our lower time frame perspective. So scenario 1 is that we hold this area, look up here into neutral destinations with a possible stretch move up above, into the previous high here, and looking up above 72s, 73s if we can get there, right? So that's the basic, idea and pathway behind scenario 1 with intermediate target and stretch targets for the overall landscape of that trade. Now with scenario 2, that would be a breakdown of this line in the sand. So we're seeing this market come back into value, in which case we would kind of expect a traversal of that value to the downside, and that would be our first destination here at that main neutral level. If we get below that, then we're seeing continuation away from this value area here, and we're seeking some prior value that we had before back down to 05s. So the two target really destination wise for scenario 2 is this first neutral area around 24s and then 05s down here, and that's kind of the full landscape based around the scenarios. The one thing I will say about this particular bullish situation we find ourselves in is that we have a lot of the lower time frames kind of shifting for us into this direction. The one problem that we have is our upper time frames are pretty much at the tip of their risk reward. So for this market to continue to move higher, we're going to have to see those upper time frames go into more aggressive trending type of situations. And this market could go to 9,000 today, and that analysis wouldn't change. It's a consistent application of our references, our risk reward landscape, and our narrative, all the things that we try to balance and rank and distill whenever we sit down to do a really solid prep with any market. So, yes, we have a bullish setup that must be respected today because the 3 lower time frames are giving us fresh market generated information around that idea. The tricky part about today is that the risk reward landscape on the higher time frames is just not good to the upside. So for something to continue to the upside, we're going to need to see those higher time frames go into more aggressive, faster type of trends, more vertical type of situation. If that makes any sense with what we're talking about here. If you're a Nadro student, I'm sure this is perfectly clear to you and obvious. If you're not a Nadro student, you're just using these levels, just know that this particular bullish zone here is happening in a location where the upside, needs some energy to really continue to push. Trade well out there, mind your risk, and let's have a wonderful trading day.